Eventually, these children grow up. And then what? Can they get a job? Where will they live as adults? What happens when they age out of the system? When autism roared onto the scene, I think most professionals were thinking mostly in present terms, and that's not completely a bad thing. It was needed, and it still is. However, as a general rule, I don't think there were any future plans. I don't know if they were thinking these children would grow out of it or that there would be a cure. But generally, once a child reaches 18, there are fewer and fewer options for them. Let's rock. Are you walking through a storm that feels like it will never end? Do you wonder if life's storms have stolen the beauty from your life for good? You're in the right place. My name is Heather, and like you, I've been through a storm or two and wondered if life would ever be beautiful again. Here we share warriors' words, stories of discovering beauty after battles, and the worth in your wounds. Pick up your sword or boxing gloves and join the battle. Your words are powerful, my friends. Make them warrior words. Welcome, warriors. As someone who is working on serving semi-independent young adults on the autism spectrum, I would be remiss if I didn't have an episode on autism during Autism Month. But let's be clear, like all of our awareness and acceptance months, autism is not a 1 month a year situation. But I was recently blessed to have a conversation with a wonderful woman who I hope to bring on the show in the future. She has a tremendous love for our friends with autism. She is currently the executive director for a nonprofit that serves families on the spectrum from all over the world at a retreat center. They provide education and training through fun experiences. Experiences they may never have the opportunity to have at home. Her program introduces people to sights, sounds, textures, and skills with patience and love. I listened to her speak of how she once spent 3 hours with a child who wanted to sit on the back of a horse, but was afraid. She explained to me that she didn't spend those hours trying to force the child to get on the horse, but she spent them overcoming fears until the child made the decision to get on the horse. That patience and love enabled the child to do something that fear was blocking. And whether the child realizes it or not, lessons were learned. This child learned skills to take into life whenever fear rears its ugly head in the future. This child saw patience and love in action. This child saw that an adult could be trusted and that this adult was safe. These are lessons all children need and deserve to learn. However, they are more difficult for those on the spectrum and must be taught more frequently. Again, with patience and love. Now, this seems like a good spot to stop and talk a bit about one of my affiliates, First Form. They are in the health improvement business and offer many supplements to improve your physical and mental health. Do you know someone, on the spectrum or not, who doesn't like to take pills, but should take D3? Well, First Form offers a liquid option with a dropper to make it easier to take. And their D3 is just one of the many options available on their site. My link is in the description, so whatever your supplement needs may be, please check them out and stock up on your favorites. And once again, that's an affiliate link, so I will earn a small commission on anything you purchase. Now, back to the show. In parenting circles, we talk a lot about educating the whole child. And many times that refers to training the mind, body, and spirit, which is important at all stages of development. But I wonder how many times we think about educating the whole child from birth to adulthood. It's certainly easier to think only in the present. But isn't that one of the purposes of education? To prepare children for adulthood? If so, we need to actually think about adulthood, especially if your child may have difficulties or challenges that most adults face. Yes, math skills are important. Yes, we need to know our history and the scientific method. We need to know how to spell, read, and write. Children, teens, and adults need to know these things to the best of their ability. But they aren't the only skills. And sometimes skills aren't always taught from a textbook. Sitting on the back of a horse isn't just about the child and the horse. While it is about the connection of a human and an animal, it is also about trust, balance, coordination, perspective, and many other things. And these things are needed throughout life. And while my new friend can teach these things at her retreat center, she can't reinforce them once they leave. People can take these lessons home with them, but what about the rest of their lives? Surely they can return to the retreat center each year, but what about their lives outside of retreat days or retreat weeks? Eventually, these children grow up. And then what? Can they get a job? Where will they live as adults? What happens when they age out of the system? When autism roared up onto the scene, I think most professionals were thinking mostly in present terms, and that's not completely a bad thing. It was needed, and it still is. However, as a general rule, I don't think there was a future plan. I don't know if they were thinking that these children would grow out of autism or that maybe there would be a cure. But generally, once a child reaches 18, there are fewer and fewer options for them. We need more resources for employment. We need more business owners to be willing and open to hire teens and young adults on the spectrum. And I'm going to challenge the Catholic small business owners who are part of Catholic owned to prayerfully consider where they can employ someone on the spectrum. I am sure the blessings will flow in both directions. We need also more resources for housing young adults on the spectrum. Odds are they will outlive their parents. They will encounter situations where their parents become ill and are unable to care for them anymore. This is reality, and in general, it's not planned for. Now, there are some housing options, but there are also wait lists. And some of these options are extremely expensive. And sadly, some of these options are less than desirable. Both of these needs are addressed in the corporal works of mercy, which are spelled out in Jesus' teachings. Feed the hungry. Give drink to the thirsty. Shelter the homeless. Visit the sick and the prisoners. Bury the dead. And give alms to the poor. Helping people on the spectrum with jobs and housing helps them with food and drink and helps them with shelter. You can contribute by coming alongside them or visiting them. Can you give someone a job? Can you donate to an organization dedicated to helping? And I'm going to shamelessly plug Star of the Sea Guild here. Please donate so we can be one of these organizations that helps with housing. So in returning to my conversation with my new friend, I love how she refers to people on the spectrum as our friends with autism. They are our friends. According to Jesus, they are our brothers and sisters in Him. What do you do for your friends, your brothers, or your sisters? Can you spread awareness and acceptance of autism by participating in the corporal works of mercy? I challenge you to find a specific person or organization you can support to help our friends with autism. Something to think about this week. Until we meet again, armor up, fight the good fight, seek beauty, and make your words warrior words. God bless.